Are your PowerPoint presentations receiving standing ovations, or are they putting people to sleep? Today, we're going to uncover the 4 biggest PowerPoint mistakes that are killing your presentations, and more importantly, how to fix them to captivate your audience. And I promise, you don't want to miss the 4th mistake. It's a game changer that even the pros often miss. But why should you listen to me? Well, over the past decade, I've transformed countless presentations for big name clients like Nestle, Johnson & Johnson, and the Australian government. And in that time, I've seen these same mistakes repeated over and over when clients have come to us for help. So these are the first things that we need to make sure to change. Mistake number 1, treating PowerPoint like a content dump rather than a supporting tool. PowerPoint. We've fallen into a trap that the task of a presentation is to whack some slides together and the resulting PowerPoint deck is the presentation. But it's not. The presentation is you. You are the one that can create a connection with your audience. You're the one with ideas and insights, and you are the catalyst for change to happen. PowerPoint is just a tool to assist you in that process. Like any tool, use it well, it can be incredibly powerful and it can help create an even bigger impact. But it can be hard, and most of us aren't getting that balance right, and that's why most presentations ultimately fail. Now, I'm not talking about throwing rocks and booing at the presenter fail, but more of a failure to make anything happen as a result. They make no difference, they have no impact. When you open up PowerPoint, you stop that creative part of your brain that comes up with great insights, develops stories, and creates clarity. The exact things that you need to create a great presentation. So when you sit in front of your deck, you're shifting gears in your brain. You just end up writing down raw content of what you need to say, not processing it. The process of punching out slides to make a presentation is akin to a guitar player throwing out random notes and asking their audience to try and make a song out of it. Or a great chef throwing random things into a pot and hoping what comes out works. It doesn't. So what's the solution? The solution comes from outside PowerPoint. You need to do the high-level presentation work offline before you jump into your slides. One way to think about it, it's first setting out your final destination, then mapping out your journey about how you'll get there. Step 1, define a singular objective of your presentation. What do you want to happen at the end of your presentation? What do you want people to think, feel, do, or take action on as a result of you presenting?
It was a good PowerPoint.
Step 2, develop a map of the main points that you need to get there. What are the destinations or main ideas that you need to visit to lead your audience through on the journey? What are the key ideas, insight, or stories that relate to each point? When you can, start your presentation here, first with these steps. Take your time, change them around until everything feels like it fits on your journey. Once you've made progress and you're clear enough of what the journey is, you can then start to open your deck and work on these main points as sections, and then the key ideas become slides. Then you can get going populating the deck. There will be some iteration here, but what you've already done is define the structure, and you should always be in check. You'll have a flow to what you present to. You're guiding your audience to get there, and that's where you'll find success. If you've got an existing deck, you can backwards engineer this. Add divider slides that match your outline. Divide your deck into sections and check, does this take your audience where they need to go? Don't make the mistake of letting PowerPoint take over. Plan your journey, plan your destination, and you'll enjoy much more success when you present.
And then you look up to PowerPoint.
Mistake 2 is showing what we should be saying. Now, you would have heard this before, show, not tell. But what does that mean? When you present a deck full of speaking notes, it creates 3 huge problems for you. It's painful. When you show text on the screen, your audience isn't paying attention to you. They're reading what's on your slides as you speak, and it creates a clash. It's boring. You're going to show what you're about to say, then you're going to say the same words in the exact same order, but everyone's already read through them. Boring. It's a missed opportunity. You aren't using PowerPoint as a tool to help you communicate your ideas, your content, and data better. It's the same mistake as we see as the content dump. We aren't doing any thinking on the slide. We're forcing our audience to do this themselves. They're doing the work when you should have already done it already. So here's the rule to follow.
Come on, just show me the PowerPoint.
Make the distinction on each slide. What am I going to say? What am I going to show? What you're going to say fits down in your notes, and above this on the slide is what you're going to show. How do highly skilled presenters that work with very big ideas follow this approach? Let's go see this in action with entrepreneur, author, and NYU professor of marketing, Scott Galloway. Scott's got over 140 slides on predictive technology, and he finished it just before he walked on stage. The presentation is a great example of Scott's intelligent, almost deadpan, authentic style, and it's a masterclass in getting a tool to work for you to help make you a better presenter. You don't get initial great feel from Scott because he starts to read off the agenda.
Travel, transportation.
But when Scott starts to work things through, he does three things really well to make PowerPoint a visual tool, and you can follow these and do the same. When there's a key point, he simplifies it with text on screen. It's not what he's saying, but a super bold prompt about what he should be saying.
Every day that we were about to have a recession, where would the evidence increase in the value of sports teams over the next 10 years?
This can be a statement or a question. He also makes sure that he applies this principle to his charts. Legible, not too much detail, and again, text on screen prompts him to talk.
Look at the curve on artificial in 5 days to 1 million users. Headlines, Amazon, Meta lays off 8,000 people.
Our brains aren't great at getting the impact of absolute numbers. So when it comes to talking to them, Scott uses a metaphor and creative visualizations. He does a great job with relevant imagery, video, and he makes sure the video is embedded and tested. Rather than getting stuck into bullet points, when there's something important to say, you can tell from the slide that he uses. Now, we're not talking spinning wheels and diamond transitions, but a simple click to fade in. When things are busy, slowing them down and bringing them to the screen when you're ready helps build up a slide as you work through it. Simplification, visualization, layout, and animation. These are all very simple ways that you can show, not tell, what you're communicating. Do these things well and you've created a powerful tool that will help support your presentation, reduce your nerves, and make an impact on your audience.
It was a good PowerPoint.
Big one. Mistake number 3, neglecting design. Slapping 24-point delivery on a gradient background and calling it a day because it's about the message, not the slides, not the package that it comes in, wrong. It's not going to cut it. Good design isn't just about looking professional. It's about making your message clear and engaging and influencing. It impacts how people are going to judge you. And that's why some of the biggest brands in the world invest billions of dollars in how they present themselves to the public. If your message is important, you have an obligation to present it as beautifully as possible. Take this example of famous violinist Joshua Bell. Not long ago, Joshua staged an experiment. He went down to New York subway and played his violin for 45 minutes. But this wasn't just any violin. It was a $3.5 million Stradivarius, one of the rarest and most beautiful violins of its time. And he was playing one of the most complex pieces ever composed. Yet despite this, only a handful of commuters stopped to listen. And he walked away with a meager $30 in tips. Just 2 days prior, Joshua had sold out a 1,700-seat Boston theatre. Average seat price, a cool $100. Same musician, same music, wildly different outcomes. You might think, hey Chris, this is just a subway. Of course people overlooked him. And that is exactly my point. The crux of the story isn't about Joshua's talent being unrecognized. It's about how presentation matters. Joshua was top-notch, world famous, but he was overlooked because he was playing in an environment where people didn't expect to find something extraordinary. Similarly, in business, we can have the best product or service in the world, but if we don't do it in a way that catches people's attention, it's not as hard as you think. Let's take a look as we transform this dull, text-heavy presentation into a visually compelling, easy to understand graphic. Which one would you rather sit through? Which one would you rate as more professional, more impactful? The secret here is to find some great fonts. Use contrast, replace poor quality images with better ones, and think about applying some of the rules of design consistently across your slides. Between 2014 and 2019, Tesla had a transformation in how it presented itself to the world. In 2019, the slides were fresh, modern, and on brand. But what if we took those 2019 slides back to 2014 and applied that style? Who would you give your attention to? Out of these, which ones would you rate as more professional, which ones have a greater impact, and which ones would you rather be in the audience for? Let's look at these examples. Exactly the same content. If you were to present, who would you find more professional? Mistake number 4, not showing what's important. So this is something that we see that even the pros miss. Use hierarchy in your slides to show what's important. It's a super simple technique. Just look at what's important and help it stand out. Mercedes-Benz is known for luxury, engineering, and consistently getting things right. So let's see how they make things stand out in their presentations and how you can do the same. Watch how contrasting colours are used for callouts. When using numbers and details, they make them big. The relative layout of where things sit on a slide is important. Keep things simple so you can make what's important stand out. So to recap, stop using PowerPoint as a content dump, create a journey, decide on what to say, what to show, set out a hierarchy, and never, ever neglect good design.
PowerPoints are the peacocks of the business world.
If you found these tips useful, there's plenty more where they came from. Sign up for our free presentation design course, link in description. You'll learn the insider tricks of creating stunning presentations that leave a lasting impact, and there's lots of free things to download. And hit that subscribe button for more presentation tips so you can start making an impact with your presentations today.